Today I've got Michael and Owen on Champion Collections cards, and they're doing something super interesting. They're doing, manufacturing themselves. They're going, shipping cards to fighters, getting on-card autos, and it's all in the UFC space. Michael and Owen, thank you so much coming on to the show today and kind of letting us know about this project that you guys have started.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, man. First, I just like what is Champions Collection MMA? What are y'all doing? What have you done already, and what do you have planned for the future? Just kind of the broad macro view.
So we make trading cards we do mostly UFC. We also do college football as well. And we do autograph signings with different athletes and have them sign those trading cards. We do unique on-card, inscriptions. Basically just, our own trading cards that we make and we partner with athletes.
Nice, man. Yeah, super interesting. The first one that caught my eye was that like crazy quad auto from the Fighting Nerds, and I was like, whoa, like that's different. Is that a custom card? Like what was the deal here? And specifically, it does seem like you guys have kind of targeted UFC fighters and want UFC to kind of be a big part of y'all's company and y'all's venture so far. So what made y'all want to target the UFC space and create UFC cards in general?
Yeah, I think one of the reasons we targeted the UFC space is because when you look at the other like football, basketball, they have a bigger market in the trading card space. But if you look at the trading cards that are involved with UFC, it doesn't look like there's as many companies that are producing cards, and if they are, they're delayed. So we just did a deal with Malcolm Wellmaker,
Mhm.
and he's been in the UFC for about a year now, but we probably wouldn't see him create cards for at least another year from now. So I think UFC is a good space to target athletes that aren't being that the Tops hasn't got into yet, or just getting a head start on them.
Yeah, dude. No, I mean that's like one of the biggest issues, right? With us UFC collectors is we're like, me and another big guy, Matt from the Golden Octagon. We were talking like, man, how sick would it be if we got Wellmaker in 2025? But we know usually with these UFC card rookie years, they usually stretch out the entire year, and you have the pretty much the same fighters in every product for that year. So you guys being kind of a one-off, being a smaller company, y'all are going to have the freedom to really get cards to people that the fans and that the collectors want, and you're gonna be able to do that, very quickly, which is awesome. How do you guys decide who to send cards to? Because like y'all definitely hit with the nerds, great job there. You definitely hit with Wellmaker. What kind of is some
Thank you.
reasoning and like why do y'all choose certain fighters?
Well, yeah, we choose fighters who don't have cards yet, right? So they're
Mhm.
hyped up prospects. When we did Gene Silva, he had no cards. I know he has a few now, but he's still relatively new, doesn't have too many cards. Wellmaker, he has no cards. So
Yep.
for us, when we go about fighter, we choose guys who either have no cards and are hyped up prospects, or people who are at the top of like, the pound for pound list, obviously, huge following, and we can do unique stuff like inscriptions that make our cards stand out from what Tops or any other companies they do. It's different. Just create something different.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, so let's check out some of these cards real quick. So let's go to the screen share here, and this is the first time I'm using this new display. So for everybody out there, if there's any issues, I had to create this as a
Looks good.
one-off. Yeah, thanks, man. So right now we got the Gene Silver, right? And tell me about this card, the process of making it. If you want to mention anything, the design y'all decided to land on. Just how did y'all get from the idea phase to the actual product in front of us right here?
Yeah, I'll explain that one. So, the Fighting Nerds was probably by far the hardest challenge of them all. So first off, the first challenge is they're international, so their
Hmm.
manager is most likely international. So, we just reached out to him directly, and we got in contact with him pretty easy, but it was a very long negotiation process with the cards. And then on the other hand, doing the deal, that was another challenge because we need all four at once, and three out of the four are managed by one, and then Carlos is managed by the other. So once we got the deal all set together, we were at the right price. We worked on the design process, which took about 2 weeks to design. So we had to make the gene card and the
Hmm.
quad, and then the actual process of getting the autograph signed. So we go to the athletes for
Hmm.
quality purposes. So uh,
So did you
the
guys fly
plan was to meet.
yourselves out there?
I was there by myself. Owen was
Okay.
actually on a family vacation, so he wasn't able to go. But the plan was to meet August 1st, all four of them at the Fighting Nerds gym in Sao Paulo, Brazil. However, a few days before, Kaio got called up as the backup fighter for UFC 319 in Chicago. So
Mm.
they flew him out that day to Las Vegas to the PI. So we had to change some things around. So we flew out to the PI in Las Vegas and then met with Kaio. He got all the quads signed. And then I flew out to Sao Paulo, Brazil, and then met with them over the span of 2 days. Worked out good. So yeah, that was the process. And once we were there, there seems to be no challenges. It worked
Yeah.
out pretty good. Everything went smoothly. Autographs looked good. Not a lot of smudging, stuff like that. Yeah.
Nice, man.
And
Yeah. See.
I just
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, say from what Michael was saying, like it's really important for us to do the signings in person, so we're able to have like that quality control. We're able
Mhm.
to, make sure cards aren't getting smudged, they're not getting damaged in shipping. So if we can do them in person, that's what we do. And even if, like Michael said, he had to go to Brazil to do it, just to make sure, the cards they're good, they're not damaged, they're not getting smudged, quality control.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know if y'all have been following the 2025 Chrome release with UFC, but dude, the QC is an issue, man. It is a big issue, and and that's another really interesting thing about you guys being, a smaller startup, a smaller company, is you have so much more resources to devote to specific the process and to the project, right? Whereas Topps, they're I think their team for the UFC side is too small. And since they're trying to manufacture so many different cards and so many different products, some things just slip through the cracks. So, happy to hear you guys are really trying to, make QC a big component of the business and trying to focus on that. As far as the quad auto, I want to show that one because this was the first one that really caught my eye. Right, whenever I saw this one online, I was like, "Oh, this is pretty sick. This is an interesting project." And then I looked up, looked at y'all's Instagram and kind of your company and whatnot. So talk me through kind of like you have each guy, you have to negotiate individually between, you said, Protest and the other three, and then you fly down to Brazil, you get it signed, but as far as like the designs go, do you guys ship that out to another person that does that? Are you guys kind of choosing images, or what's kind of the process there?
So for the designs, so for the quad, specifically, I just created the design. I wanted to create like kind of a simple
Yeah.
design where the autograph really pops, because if you have too much going on in the card, the autograph can kind of get overshadowed by the whole design. And I think that one, it did a nice job where you can see the four autographs, they pop nice. You got the names right under it with their nicknames. You got the big fighting nerds at the top, and then you got all of them to the side with kind of like that shadow effect to really let the autograph stand out. So that was kind of my thought process for making this the quad card, is how can I make the autographs be, the main part of the card where, it doesn't get overshadowed by the design.
Yeah, no, I love the fighting nerds, nice and big, bold up there. And so far, man, you guys are the first people. Topps has I haven't seen any leaks
Yeah.
about it, and so you guys are killing the game right now having this one out, especially when everybody's so hot. Protest is coming off that crazy knockout of Jeff Neal, so super cool, man.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as these cards go, are you guys going to do parallels with these? Like, is it just gold? Is it silver? The nerds, is this just like a one-off, and are they numbered? Like, what's the supply and how do you guys kind of think of all that stuff?
Yeah, I don't
Um,
think our with like we it was on short notice because at that time they all the four of them had fights coming up. So it was kind of like a short last minute deal for at that time. So we had to we would have liked to have all four of their designs, but unfortunately we didn't have the time for that. But a few of them are going to be in San Antonio in 2 weeks, so we're looking to try to do something with them then.
Nice, man. As far as like y'all's production, you have the design phase, you have the manufacturing phase. You guys talked about kind of the shipping aspect and going to the fighters in person, getting the cards signed. But what about like print run? Supply and demand is so huge within the trading card space, and we're kind of seeing the bigger companies just the printing press is going crazy, right? They have like hundreds and hundreds, thousands of different cards, thousands of different autos. So what is kind of y'all's thought process when it comes to print run on certain cards? Are you guys do you guys have like a specific number in mind that you want? Will that change in the future? What's kind of y'all's thoughts there?
Yeah. So for us right now, we have two like really main variations. We have the silver and we have the gold. We don't have any specific numbered. They're not hand numbered right now. That's something we're looking to do in the future.
Okay.
Maybe even do some different ink colors, that kind of thing. But it definitely, like you said, a lot of companies they mass produce the cards, and that really brings the value down. So whenever we do a deal, we try to keep the quantity down to as minimum as we can, so the value per signature goes up. Like for example, Marab, his autograph, he's super popular. Number 3 pound for pound right now, but his autograph isn't worth as much because he has so many autographs out there. Like you can get a Marab autograph for $20 on eBay. So that's something we don't want. We want the quantity to be as low as possible so that the value is as high as possible.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. As far as letting the consumer know print run, you said you guys are going to do like the numbering in the future. Do you send these in like a box, or like is it a direct to consumer through Instagram? Like how are you guys selling these, and then how does the consumer know how many were manufactured?
So, our first deal was that we did was a college football player, DJ Lagway, quarterback for Florida. And for that, we actually partnered with a different Instagram page where we did like an online drop. And
Okay.
so that, they can go purchase the card individually, and then we ship it to them, in a bulk mailer, make sure it's protected. But for a lot of the UFC fighters, we've partnered with other people who sell them as well. But we try to sell them on Whatnot. We get people on
Mm.
Instagram messaging us at the time wanting, I want a Fighting Nerds or I want a Gene Silva, but we're really trying to build our Whatnot account where we can, start some of these cards even at $1, and people are able to get, good deals on autographs that they normally wouldn't be able to get for that price.
Okay, perfect. What is y'all's Whatnot store? I'll be sure to link it in the description along with your Instagram as well. Is it just the same as y'all's Instagram?
Yep.
Okay, you heard it here. You guys get over there, give them a follow. How often are y'all going live? I know right now, you probably only have a limited supply since you guys are just getting started. But what's kind of in the future when you see yourself? Are y'all doing, a show once a week? Are you guys going multiples, multiple times per week? Or how do you think the future is kind of going to look as far as selling on Whatnot?
Yeah, probably multiple times a week, maybe 2 times a week, I think. And then once we do more signings with more athletes, we'll
Mhm.
have more inventory. So that way, it's kind of hard if you're on Whatnot and you're running the same, if you only have 2 or 3 guys, you can't really run them over and over again. So if we have more signers, and we do probably 2 shows a week, that's probably what we're looking to do.
Okay, so it'll be singles every time. Have y'all thought about doing a product or a box release or anything like that, or are you guys going to keep it strictly to selling singles?
We've thought about it for boxes, maybe a mystery pack, but at the moment, we're really trying to stick to just singles. So that way, the buyers, they know what they're getting. Um, and they're not, taking a chance where you could be getting something, less than what you're paying
Yeah,
for. So
yeah.
we're
I
trying to
think
stick to
that's
singles.
That's probably smart. You guys are such a new company. I think Topps and Panini and all those, they can kind of get away with giving you like dud boxes just because they're so massive. But I think that's probably a good move. You guys are letting the customer purchase the exact thing that they want at the exact price that they want. So, that's definitely a smart move. As far as y'all's Instagram goes, what kind of stuff do you guys have planned in the future there? Are you going to show the whole process? Y'all going to sign cards like you've done recently? Are you going to show upcoming projects that you have? Are you guys going to kind of leak details, or are you just going to show kind of the finished product once everything is rolled out and together?
Yeah, so for the Instagram, it's good because it's our best, easiest way to let the customer know about the product release. And what you're saying about like early letting them know before we do the deals, the deal's not done until like the cards are actually signed, things fall through,
Yeah.
things happen. So it's best for us to just wait till the cards are signed. But if we had like a big athlete, we're talking with some very big athletes that we're trying to get in the MMA space. So maybe something like that would be less likely to fall through, and something have a better reveal for when that cards come out for that fighter.
Awesome, man. I love it. Yeah, I know. It was really cool to look through kind of y'all's Instagram and see like the process, right? Like you have, let me pull it up. You guys with Malcolm was cool. Just like, like this kind of stuff. Having this here, and then having the nerd signing was really awesome. And that kind of leads me to my next thing, which is like how. So you guys are relatively unknown, right? Nobody really knows what y'all are doing, who you guys are at this point. Everybody's going to know you guys, in 5-10 years. But right now, not many people know y'all's company. They don't really know what y'all are doing. As a consumer, how do I know that these signatures are legit? Do y'all have an authentication process? What's kind of y'all's thought there? And how are y'all going to kind of do that in the future?
Yeah, so right now, everyone on our Instagram, we post pictures of all the athletes signing autographs. We even have some videos, like for Malcolm Wellmaker, for example. That was
Mhm.
his first ever signing, so he hasn't done anything for Topps yet. So we have a video of him signing like his first like card he's ever signed, and he wrote that inscription, which is cool. So for right now, it's photos, it's videos. We're looking to post some behind the scenes content, in the future as well. And an idea that we actually had uh, that could be something big in the future is even having like streaming live while the athletes are signing, whether that's on
Oh yeah, that would
Instagram
be
or it's
cool.
on yeah, where the buyers can literally see the glove that they're getting signed. They're seeing it being signed live right in front of them. They can screen record it and save it, and that's just kind of a cool way they can purchase it.
Yeah, I love that, man. That's a great
And
idea.
that's
That's
and that's a
that's something
cool way they
different.
can connect with the
Hmm.
athlete. Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
and that's a cool way they can connect with the athlete directly. So
Yeah, I love that. Let me share this one because this was something that caught my eye. I did a video kind of reporting on a John Jones of 150 card that sold, but it was his first ever Topps Chrome card. A lot of collectability. His first ever Topps Chrome signed card that he had. And so like the power of the inscription is real, right? And you guys definitely are in a unique position because you're so close to the fighter and you kind of have a direct line of contact to kind of give them some guidance on what to put, what the fans will like. So I love these two inscriptions here, and that's definitely something as a collector, and you guys know this obviously that's going to really bump the value of y'all's cards up. As far as like interacting with the athlete, right? How are these guys when they're signing? I mean, you got to go to Brazil. That's so awesome, and meet the fighting nerds and all that. How do they look at this? Is it kind of, do they think it's fun? Do they think it's just a business obligation? What's kind of their attitude towards signing this many cards?
yeah, so I think on the MMA side, all the athletes think it's cool, especially Malcolm. He first ever signing, he
Yeah.
seemed very happy to. He thought it was very cool to do something like that.
Hmm.
And then the fighting nerds, they seemed very excited as well. There was a little bit of a language barrier in between us because they
Yeah.
speak Portuguese there, so but and then on the other side with the college football athletes, they're just
Mhm.
so used to all these brand deals 24/7 that I think they don't have that excitement or even want to engage in a conversation with us when we're doing the signing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Go
what
ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say what Michael was saying. Um, we've done like we do college football and we do UFC, and the athletes are like they're fun to have a conversation with, but the UFC fighters, I only did Malcolm Wellmaker. I wasn't there for the fighting nerds, but like that was they go above and beyond almost. They're not used to signing cards, so they don't consider it as much. Oh, I have to be here and I have to sign cards. They're like excited about it. They want to keep a card for themselves. They just have more excitement going into the signings than other athletes would have.
Yeah, I get that, man. And again, I think you guys are right, right where you're supposed to be right now because, I would imagine, and I'm speculating here, but I would imagine that, because a lot of these guys are not getting paid what they should right now, Wellmaker's not getting paid as much as he should, that, they might be a lot more receptive to something like this. And I think y'all are really doing a great job kind of filling a niche and a void that needs to be filled here in this space. As far as like manufacturing goes, obviously the photos of the cards look great. What do the cards look like in person? How thick are they? And if you could like give a comparison to any product that
I have
we've
some
already
cards with
seen in
me
the
right
UFC
now.
space. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's check them out.
So our we always send them in our one touch, and then we put our seal up here.
Mhm.
But the cards are just normal trading cards, 16 point normal paper
Okay.
surface, so there's no ridges or anything. So and very very high resolution with that. And then like
Mhm.
on the quad auto, very high resolution, like Owen said, with the shadow and everything.
Uh-huh.
And the blue makes it the autographs pop out way better as well.
Do you guys have a
Yeah,
backing on the cards? I haven't seen any photos
like
of
a
the
Yeah,
back.
back
they
card.
all have backings. I can show you. So this is the quad.
Oh, nice. Yeah, very cool. As far and
So just a little description about each person.
you said the
Hmm.
thickness is like a normal like 35 point, or is it thicker?
Yeah, it's a 16-point card stock to be exact, and it in person when you feel it, it's about the size of like a typical Donruss card. That's about the
Okay.
thickness is what I would compare it to.
Got you. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. I definitely kind of wanted to get some type of a comparison as far as just kind of what the vibe is, right? Because you see through pictures, it's not the same as actually holding it in person, and seeing it in person. As far as like the reception that y'all have seen from the MMA community, from your collegiate athletes, what is the reception that the page is getting? Are collectors really getting behind you guys, and are they excited for what y'all are doing? Have you guys seen a lot of support from the MMA community? Kind of, what's your thoughts on the reception of this company and what y'all are doing so far?
Yeah, for
Yeah, it's
sure.
mostly positive signals from the MMA community. Uh, they like that we're getting their favorite athletes cards quicker than Tops and all those other companies would, and I say pretty positive experience with the fans. All of
Hmm.
them. A lot of times they reach out directly to us on Instagram to get one. They try to get one before we even start selling them. They're like, "Give
Yeah.
me that card." So yeah, I say pretty
Yeah.
positive for the MMA side.
We have the reception right. People are happy. They're enjoying it. You can get them on whatnot. I was thinking about this whenever I was kind of seeing this, and we've seen in the past that specific unlicensed products, and these are unlicensed cards. They haven't technically or haven't typically sold as much as the Tops, the Paninis, whoever has the license for the specific organization, right? So are y'all worried about that as far as like manufacturing? I'm sure there's a lot of cost. You have to book the athlete, you have to travel to get there, you have the manufacturing process, you have the shipping, the fees on whatnot. I guess, are y'all worried that the price point is going to be too low in comparison to the other companies that are out there, or what's kind of y'all's thoughts on that?
So I think when we do for UFC fighters is we try to do guys who don't have cards, so that way,
Hmm.
you know, they have to be like Malcolm Elliker, Gene Silva. They're hyped guys with big fan bases, and they don't have any cards out there. So it's easier for us to put a price point like on them and put like a value. But even guys like once you start getting up there with the pound for pound, some of the top guys like Hamza, guys like Ilya Taporia, who have autographs, you kind of get a feel for what their market is. And a thing that really helps our cards stand out from other cards is the inscriptions. And I think that's a big thing that we want to do going forward, because everyone wants, inscribed autograph, but a lot of the companies, they don't do it. So
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And maybe, you guys having a smaller print run maybe will help the fighter not feel, like they have to do 1,000 signatures at once or whatever.
yeah.
And we'll kind of help you guys with that. As far as the pricing, I don't think we've really touched on that at all. I know you said you're starting them at 99 cents on whatnot. Are you going to have a flat price on these right now? Is it going to be 99 cents? Like ballpark, how much are these selling for? Like, just kind of, do we have any numbers out there already for any of these?
So the DJ Legway cards was a flat rate. We were selling those for just $100 each. Those were our first deal. Uh, and then we have been selling a lot of the cards just directly on Whatnot at $1, so they go for whatever. So there's a big range, but the resale market for like the Fighting Nerds quad is roughly $300 to $400 for the quad, and
Nice.
then the Gene cards are going for uh maybe a little more, like Owen was saying. The Gene cards are going for maybe roughly $100 as well, and then there's not that many Malcolms out there, so we can't really see what those are going for. But yeah, seems like they're getting top price for those cards. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
like
I'm happy to hear that about the quad. That's a solid price tag.
Not a lot were made, yeah.
mhm.
And we had a
Yeah,
that's one of them that you have to go in person for because you have four people on one card. So if one person messes up, it messes up the whole deal the whole deal. So that was the biggest quality concern is getting the quad done. And only 150 were made total, so very limited quantity on those.
Okay, nice. Did you guys do you disclose the print run on certain things? Are you going to print it on the back? I know you had said you're going to mark it, but like I think that's definitely a big deal to a lot of people. When you're talking about like some of the unnumbered autos, that Panini had did in the past, like it's so we have no idea how many they made. They could have made 1,000, could have been 2,000. So are you guys like do you have the print runs? Do you disclose those when you're selling, or how does that work?
Yeah, we disclosed the print runs when we're selling them. So the quad was 150, Gene was 400, Malcolm was 300 cards, and yeah, that was it for the MMA side.
and
Nice.
yeah, and like Michael was saying for Malcolm, it was 300 cards total, and then there's two different variations, and then there's some that are inscriptions. So like you try to like keep it like limited where even though the total was 300 cards, if you want a specific one, like an inscribed one, it's going to be way less, or if you want a silver, if you want a gold. So that way, if you can create different variations, add different inscriptions, you can make the cards even more limited.
Yeah, 100%. The inscription is a great idea, and will really differentiate some of these autos from some of the autos that they're gonna have in the future. When Wellmaker finally inks that Topps deal, like he's not going to be able to put first card I ever signed right on those, and it's just a really interesting opportunity that you guys have with these people. As far as fighters in the future, is there anything you want to leak here on the show? Anything you want to tease? Any new ideas that y'all are coming, or are you guys going to keep it close to the chest?
Mm, We'll just say some fighters in Miami. We'll leave it at that.
All
Some
right.
some fighters in Miami.
All right, we're going to have everybody in the comments. Who do you think it is that Michael's talking about? Let us know in the comments. Thank you guys so
And
much for
nothing's
coming
a done
on.
deal, but we're pretty
Yeah.
close with those athletes.
Awesome, man. Very excited. And thank you so much for coming on. Such an interesting project that y'all are doing. And I have a lot of respect. You guys are so young. Owen said you guys are 17. So crazy that y'all are already, starting this business venture. That's really cool. And a mad respect to you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Do you have anything that you want to plug or talk about before we get off? Or what do you think?
I would say just go check out our Instagram. It's at Champions Collection Cards on Instagram, and then check out the Whatnot Champions Collection.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching. See y'all next time.
Thanks for
Thank you.
having us on, Zach.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet y'all.